morning, and welcome to another pre-market review session with Ray, the market trader. So without further ado here, guys, let's go ahead and review the risk disclosure, and let's get started. All right, so just to remind everyone, okay, that the content that I'm about to share and publish and distribute by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to solicit an offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of this information is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. Future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital, and only risk capital or money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading. Only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer, buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, let's go ahead and take a look at the our news portal, see what news could affect us. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, take a look at the news. All right, so looking at the news, we have a fair amount of news today. Okay, we just had reports on U.S. new housing starts, U.S. housing build permits. Housing starts came in below expectation. Building permits came in a little bit higher than expectation. And we still have in front of us reports on the U.S. 20-year bond yield, okay, at 1 p.m. Eastern, okay, and then the granddaddy of all reports, and that is the FOMC meeting minutes, okay, that could really shake up the equity markets, okay, and then we have some reports here that should most likely. We have the Fed member Jefferson speaking. We have Trump participating in some priority meeting, and then some additional executive signings here. Okay. All right. So I guess the fact that we have FOMC, I guess, puts a new kind of twist to the meeting today. So something to keep in mind, especially if you trade equities. Okay, here at was about 2 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. All right. So now that we've gotten through the news here and to see what kind of news could impact us, let's go ahead and start taking a look at the charts. Okay, and the markets. Okay. And the market as we normally start with is the gold market, since it's already open. Okay, just opened here. So we'll take a look at the gold market and then make our way through the other markets. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and locate my charting platform. There it is. Okay. We'll go ahead and share that. All right. Oops. It didn't look too nice here. It looks like I got some sort of, try this again. Share screen. All right, much better. Okay. All right, so we're taking a look here at the gold market. Again, we're going to go ahead and start with the daily chart here. Okay, we had quite a nice run yesterday in the markets, and today it seems like it's kind of a digestion day. Okay, really have started the day with a little bit of indecision. Okay, not exactly sure where to take the markets in either direction. Okay, so right now we have a very indecisive candle. Okay, so this day could present some issues, right, for us in really arriving at a direction. Now we know, right, up until on the daily, we're starting to see maybe some overlapping price candles, but nonetheless, we have an indecisive candle, but it is above the prior day. Okay, in an otherwise market that is quite bullish. You can see here as we move from left to right. Okay, from left to right, that we have a market that is quite bullish. Moving into the 4-hour chart. Okay, for our chart, we kind of touch on what I was kind of leading up to on the daily. We do seem to have, a bit of overlapping candles here. We had a solid trending up day yesterday that took us right up to the edge of this resistance area here around 29.62, and now we've kind of stalled. We've developed a little bit of a bearish. I don't know if you want to call it. I don't think it's quite engulfing, but it's certainly a piercing candle on right up against resistance here. So if we are going to continue, this could be an area where we get a little bit of a pullback. Okay, in the market, right? So because we do see that we've been in a little bit of a range here. Okay, right, a little bit of a range since Monday, right? So we're right up at a level where we could see a similar kind of retracement. Okay. Now, if we do manage to get above, right, then we're back to the potential of a trending day here. Okay. But right now we're right up against a level, right, where that historically sold off. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. And we have a bearish piercing candle to boot. Okay. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay. 30-minute chart. Taking a look at this. Okay, so here we are. We have our average session and average daily ranges. The average session range is for London here. We're kind of in the middle of both ranges. Okay, indicating that further that we could be in this kind of trending, not trending, but a ranging kind of market today. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and now open up and see where we are in relation to we're going to go ahead and open this up and see where price is in relation to yesterday's value here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open this up here. All right, so we're right above value here. Okay, just above value. Okay, and I don't think necessarily that is by accident. Okay, so one of two things could happen here. Okay, I'm marking that as an area of, I'm going to change that actually. I'm going to mark that as an area of support here. Okay, we'll change that into green. Okay, so this area right here. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to open up here is my initial balance, if I can locate it. There it is. Okay, so right where price is, okay, could offer us a kind of springboard, right, for additional price action to the upside. Okay, or right, this would be a logical area for that, and we don't necessarily have to risk all that much. Okay, in order to support a trade that's using value area high as our reference level. Okay, but honestly, given this move down, okay, we probably want to wait to see if we get a break of initial balance to the high side before we entertain maybe a bullish trade that will take us up to ASR high. Okay, now while that is a possibility, we could also get a continuation of the current move down into value and maybe extend all the way down to certainly value area low. Okay, and maybe as low as average session low. Okay, so that's also a possibility, right? Right now, it appears that value area high is serving as an area of support. Okay, and that could lead to price potentially heading higher. Okay, but honestly, I would like to see price break some of this structure. Okay, I was happy to see. I mean, if I'm a bull, I'm happy to see that we got a nice bullish candle here. I'm seeing if I can, don't know exactly what happened to my volume delta here. I'm going to go ahead and add it. All right, there's my volume delta. Okay, so I'm happy to see that this price was received with some volume. I'm also happy to see that we've gotten a rejection candle away from this value area, and assuming we can get a break of say 29.60, okay, then I would say that we have a reasonable chance of getting up to 29.68 and beyond. Okay. All right, so that's kind of what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add my levels to this chart. I'm gonna go ahead and move on because the market is going to open up here in about 22 minutes, and we still have a few markets that we need to review here. But I'm going to go ahead and add my levels to this chart, okay, that I'm tracking. All right, so these are the levels that I'm tracking in this market. Okay. So we have 29, let's see, average, so we got 29, let's see, to the high side here, do this something like this, okay. So I'm going to double confirm my ASR here because these levels were created prior to the establishment of London here. So I'm going to modify this to 68, 90. Okay, that's average session range high. And then I have average session range low here at 34.6. Okay, 34.6, 34.6. Okay. Yeah. So, and then average daily range low, I think is intact. Let's double confirm that. We have, yeah, 80, and below we have 30. Yeah, so average daily range low is intact. I had to adjust the average session range for London, and this will probably move again when the New York session opens. Okay, so coming into the market, okay, coming into the session here, what I'm looking for, the possibility of, is an initial balance extension up to 2968.9. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now, assuming that this current candle closes bullish. Ideally, what I want to do is wait for price to get above 29.60, and that should serve as kind of a springboard for price to potentially reach 29.68.9. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. If it cannot break 29.60, then I would say that that price is possibly going to continue lower. Okay, from this level. Okay, I do see that price is above our daily VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchored VWAP for London here. Okay, so it's right about here. Okay, and you can see that price is below my anchored VWAP for the start of London, but it's being challenged. Okay, we got above it and it was rejected again. So interesting level at this point in this market. We'll have to wait and see exactly what kind of initial balance break we end up receiving, okay, in this market. All right, moving on to the crude oil market. All right, crude oil market, we have again, looks like a little bit of a bearish kind of move here. We'll take a look at, not bearish, bullish kind of move. So we'll take a look at the daily chart. Okay, daily chart is coming up to some levels, okay, that could be resistant. Okay, but if we do manage to get above 73.15, it looks like maybe we are headed maybe for another leg higher in this market. Okay, looking at this here, I can see that this bearish trend that we've been in, okay, is starting to slow a bit. Okay, I'm going to remove this here. Do have a lot of okay. I do see that the bearish move that we were in is starting to slow here down a little bit, right? And we're starting to create a little bit of a double bottom, right? We see a double bottom that's been being developed here. I've already kind of marked this as an area of support here around 70.50. If we do manage to get above 73.21, okay, then I would say that that I think we are headed for another leg higher in the crude oil market. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay, we're starting to see our series of. I'm going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. Okay, we're starting to see our series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay, we've come into the 233-day EMA. We're right up smack against it. Okay, I use that as kind of a little bit of a sentiment indicator. Okay, I'd like to see if I'm thinking bullish, then I'd like to see price get above my EMAs. Okay, and you can see here we have this area of resistance around 73.35. If we are able to break some structure here to the upside, it opens us up to 74. Okay, certainly, and maybe up to 75. Okay, but we need to start breaking some structure. We've started to break some structure here to the downside. We're starting to get some volume to support this move. Okay, to the upside. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start opening up our initial balance, our ADR, and our ASR here. Okay, I'm going to close this down here and open this up more so that we avoid the clutter. A lot of clutter here. Okay, okay, so we're coming up to some average session range highs here. Okay, price is above VWAP, indicating that we are in kind of a bullish trend. If I go ahead and draw in my volume profile, that will also indicate to me. So we'll go ahead and fix range volume profile. We'll look for the start of Tuesday here and the close of Tuesday. All right, there we have it. Okay, so we have price above value. All right, indicating that there is a fair amount of interest to the upside. Now, obviously, what's concerning to me at this point is the fact that we're right up close to this exhaustion area. Okay, average session range that's been developed by London. We've already exceeded the average daily range. Okay, so that could be an indication that we might be in a sustained move to the upside here. Okay. So I'm going to be patient. I do see that there's a fair amount of volume coming into this market on the buy side. Okay, so price is aligned with volume at the moment. Okay, the only thing that I'm kind of a little bit concerned about is this 73 level. That this 73 level could be an area where we could see maybe a little bit of a pullback in price before we continue to extend higher. Okay, so that's something to be aware of if I'm bullish. Okay. And if I'm bullish, if I can follow along on the anchor VWAP train, okay, looking at these levels down below it, I'm gonna go ahead and open up London. This level down below us at around 72.50 would not be a bad area, or 72.45 would not be a bad area for an execution to the upside. Okay, that would be initial balance low. Okay, but that could offer us maybe an opportunity to the upside in this market. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add my levels to this chart, okay, and continue our review here because we're coming up on the open here of the New York session, and I do want to at least get through the equities here for those, because I do know that there's a fair number of you that trade equities and specifically trade the opening range. Okay, so right now we have price and volume kind of aligned in one direction, which is a good thing if you are in that view in that direction. Okay. So yeah, so again, looking at this market, the market looks bullish. I would say that crude oil for me, priority wise, probably looks a little bit better from a trading perspective. We're seeing some candles that are very directional, okay, on the higher time frame as well as the lower time frame. So this could offer us maybe an opportunity, a sustained move further to the upside. Okay. So we have our levels here. I want to spot check to see if I do need to change my average session range here. We're going to go ahead and move that to 72.95. Okay, so change that, and then my average session low at 71.57. That also has changed as a result of London. Okay, so those are our ranges that I'll be tracking and looking for. Okay. areas where I can potentially manage my risk here. Okay, so going into the session here, going into the New York session, I'm looking for some bullish opportunities. Okay, so I'm gonna pause here for a moment, and I guess to do a little bit of marketing here. Again, guys, I do see a number of participants in the session here. If you do enjoy the analysis and you do enjoy me coming and kind of breaking down the markets, don't be hesitant and hit the like button. Give me a like or two if you want to be alerted on when these sessions do happen, because normally they happen at 8:30 Eastern time, but I do sometimes delayed in coming to you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Get alerted when I do offer these kinds of analysis opportunities. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and open up the equities now. Now that I did my little marketing here and I've scared off a couple of folks here. Let's take a look here, and let's take a look at the daily chart. Okay. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. Okay. Remove some of our drawings. And we're looking at the daily. Okay. Again, similar to what we were seeing in the gold markets. Now, today being FOMC, okay, it is quite possible that the markets are going to be a little bit dull, okay, leading up to that announcement. We have a developing, we're developing really indecisive candle here in the top of the range, and otherwise kind of consolidation area. Now, I've kind of drawn this in the past. I will draw it again. We do have price has exceeded, a level, right? Has exceeded this range and basically is now up at the highs. Now, the question for me is this going to be the day where we extend and break above 22,400? Okay. Or do we pull back to the top end of this ascending triangle down? Okay, kind of check this level before we head higher. Those are the kind of the areas. Now, I would prefer the second route, right? Because that will offer me an opportunity to participate in this market. All right. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, we see that we'll go ahead and turn off initial balance because we're still a little bit away from initial balance coming into play here. Okay, we see a little bit of a double top, okay, in this market, right? We have kind of an M pattern that's kind of developing here. So this has the potential of leading to maybe a move lower in this market. Okay, especially if the news out of the FOMC minutes is not what people expect. Okay, right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on the 4-hour. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Okay, so here we are. We're below our VWAPs. Okay, we came back to VWAP and sold away from it. Okay, so again, further evidence that maybe there is some more downside to this market. Now, we do have 80 ASR below us at 22,134.75. I'm going to go ahead and open up my fixed range volume profile here. Okay, for yesterday, and that kind of open that up here. Okay, so we were right kind of smack just inside our value area high. Okay, right about here, we're inside of it. Okay, so that in and of itself could offer us a reference level for a continuation trade, okay, to the downside. Okay, if price cannot hold above value, well, then there is a reasonable chance that we rotate through value, right? We're inside it. We could potentially rotate through it. Now, we are up against point of control, which is the area where the price that has generated the most volume in trade. Okay, so that could also be supportive. All right, but nonetheless, we are inside. Okay, we are below VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchor VWAP for London. We're also below that. Okay, so we have some indicators that lead me to believe that maybe that there is some further downside. And 22, this area here around 22,157, maybe as low as 22,134, have some confluence as maybe some targets for maybe some further bearish trade in this market. Okay. Again, we can use this as a reference level. Like I said, we can put our stop just above this candle, and that could also that could be an area where we can maybe price continues to the downside. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and quickly add my levels. Excuse me. Quickly add my levels to this market, to this chart, I should say. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and double. I'm going to go ahead and double check my ASR levels here. We have 22,387 is our with 389. Not. I'll go ahead and modify this here. 387.50. Okay, is my average session range high. Okay, and then my average session range low, which I think could serve as a reasonable target for maybe a bearish trade, is 22, 120, 134 here. Okay, 134.75. Okay. All right. So now that I've adjusted the average session ranges, again, right now, as I enter the market, or as I look into the market, I do see that maybe there might be an opportunity for maybe a bearish trade to the downside in the NASDAQ, where I can use value area high as kind of a reference level for that opportunity. Okay. All right. Now that I've kind of given you kind of a sense of what I'm looking at on the NASDAQ, let's go ahead and take a look at the ES. Okay. All right. Looking at the ES. Okay. Again, we're going to go ahead and take a look and remove some of my drawings. Take a look at the daily. All right. We'll start with the daily chart and see what the daily chart is telling us. I suspect it's probably similar to what we are seeing. I would say that probably a little bit stronger than what we're seeing on the NASDAQ. Okay, we have a developing bearish engulfing candle right at the top end of the market here. Okay, so this area here around 6150, okay, is going to be an area of importance for me. Okay, an area of importance for the bulls, right? 6150, if I can get it right about there, okay, is an area of resistance. Okay, again, this could be an area where we see maybe a little bit of a sell-off in this market, right? We've been kind of in a little bit of a range. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're starting to see candles kind of struggle to get above the 6150 level. Okay, we've had one attempt, failed. We came with some fervor back, failed again. Okay, so kind of developing not as defined of a double top as say maybe this will clear up here on the 30-minute chart, but you can see some semblance of maybe a double top being formed here on the 4-hour chart. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. I'm looking to see if that is a little bit more defined. Yeah, I guess you can you kind of potentially make not really enthused by this double top pattern, but we do see that we got here once, came back, kind of sold off from it again. So 6150 or 6160, maybe kind of adjust this a little bit higher. 6160 or 6150, 675 does seem like an area where we could potentially see some reversal in price. Okay, so we're coming into an area of demand, as you can see. All right, we've kind of reached the average session range here. Okay, in the ES. Okay, so one of two things can happen. This could serve as an area for price to reverse higher. I'm going to go ahead and open up my fixed range volume profile and get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's value. Okay, there we are, right about there. Okay, and you can see that we're inside value. With the NASDAQ, I think we're just on the edge of value here, or just above value. Okay, so that could be maybe a precursor, all right, to what we were, kind of seeing in the NASDAQ, right? Maybe there is going to be a little bit of a rotation through value in the NASDAQ, and ES is kind of leading the way on that front. Okay, we see that price is below value, below value area high, and below our anchored VWAP, our daily VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchored VWAP from London. You can also see that we're below that as well. Okay, so we're starting to see a little bit of bearish action coming into an area of demand. Okay, that could offer us maybe a rotation in price at these levels. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up, share my levels for this market. Okay, probably will need to adjust my average session ranges here. We'll go ahead and do that. So we have 75.50, okay, which is actually quite close to the average daily range. And then we have 61.28, 61.28.75, 28.75 here on the downside of the range. Okay, so these are the levels that I'll be tracking right now. Again, similar to the Nasdaq here, kind of looking bearish, but I also understand that I'm in an area of demand. Okay, you're welcome, Sue. I'm kind of in an area of demand here. Okay, so this could cause price maybe to potentially reverse away from. Okay, but I have to respect the fact that I'm in bearish structure here. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close the session off with a quick review of the Dow here. Okay. Looking at the Dow again, similar to we'll go ahead and remove some of our drawings. Let's take a look at the daily here. Okay. You can see that price is kind of, I would say probably even the weakest of all. Okay. We're kind of a lot further along in our move to the downside here. Okay. We have a lot of overlapping candles, okay, on the top side, but it does feel a bit heavy, okay. Now this is obviously consolidating in some sort. Now there's no reason why we couldn't necessarily extend, okay, but we need to start to see price, kind of create some new highs. Right now we're starting to create some lower lows and lower highs. All right, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, again, we have our series of candles here. We had a bearish engulfing candle followed by another bearish candle. Okay, again, it does appear that this market is a bit heavy and looking to go lower. All right, moving on to the 30-minute chart. This is where I'm going to go ahead and draw in my my fixed range volume profile, get a sense for where price is in relation to value from yesterday. Okay, there we are. Drag that across to the close. All right, there we are at the lower end of value. Okay, and looking to actually exceed it. Okay, let's see right here. Okay, this is value area low. Right now is kind of hovering right up against it. So this could offer us a nice area here, maybe for a reversal in price. Okay, assuming it can hold it. I'm going to go ahead and open up the initial balance because the market has now officially opened here. So we'll take a look at initial balance now that the market is opened. If I can get it to draw here, there it is. Okay, there's our initial balance range. So again, similar kind of view that I had with the other equity markets. The market does appear a bit bearish. We're going to go ahead and draw in our anchored VWAP for the start of London here. All right, let that draw in here. You can see that's also bearish. Okay, so we're starting to break below value. All right, this could be a logical area, right? Maybe a possible execution, assuming that we do close below. This could offer us a continuation trade, maybe for further downside. Now we are a bit extended, okay, away from our daily VWAP, right? We did manage to get up to this anchored VWAP before we continued our sell-off here. Okay, so ideally, what I'd like to see is for price to close at its current form, and then wait for some sort of pullback, maybe back up to this value area low range before I look for any sort of execution to the downside. Okay, that would be the ideal, right? Similar to what we saw here, right? We get a nice push down, okay, close, right, without any sort of buying wicks, and then we get a little bit of a pullback up to this 44,500 level, and then we extend lower. Now, if we do not manage to close below value, this could also serve as an excellent location for an opportunity to maybe reverse, right? Because we do see that price has historically rallied from these levels. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at here. We'll have to kind of sit on my hands here as this 30-minute candle establishes this and decides on what direction that they want to take this market. Right now, it appears that they want to go lower, but I do see that maybe some buyers have maybe potentially stepped in here. Now, it's either buyers stepping in or sellers taking profits. I'm not sure what it is, but I do see that there is a fair amount of buying that's going on and taking place at this moment. Okay, even though we do have a bearish candle and it's below value, it'll be interesting for me to see how this candle closes here in the next 28 minutes or so. Okay. All right. So again, from a levels perspective, I'll just kind of call these numbers out here. We're going to go ahead and adjust this now that the New York session has officially opened. I'm going to go ahead and open this up for New York to give me kind of fresh levels here. So we've reached the 80. No, we haven't. We did reach the ADR exhaustion zone here for London. Now we have some fresh zones here for New York. Okay. So again, we have a target price down below before we could potentially see any sort of reversal in the price. Okay. We're at or close to value area low, which could also serve as a opportunity, right? So for me, I think right now I'm going to be watching to see what kind of candle do I get here. If I get a candle with a little to no wick, then I'm going to be waiting for some sort of pullback up to this value area low for an opportunity to the downside. Okay, I do understand that I do have FOMC minutes today, so we could be in kind of a range, okay, until that takes place. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see here. Okay, so yeah, so from a average session range, I'm looking at 44,320 on the low end, 44,724 on the sell end. We have a volume delta is kind of indicating that there are some buyers kind of stepping into this market here. Okay, the question is, can they turn the tide here and create a new high? Okay, I'm not interested in buying wicks. Ultimately, I need to see price, kind of basically break this kind of bearish trend and create a new high before I'm willing to entertain a long at these levels. It's a logical area. Okay, of where an area where I would expect to see some buyers, but I'm just not going to blindly pick a bottom. Okay, I'd like to see or like to wait for some sort of reversal pattern and to offer me a relatively good location here for maybe a potential long. Okay, but I have to respect the fact that I still remain in bearish structure here. All right, guys. Well, I think that will do it for me. Just taking a peek here to see if there's any questions. Again, don't be shy with the likes as you exit the door or exit the session here. Do very much appreciate you guys' support and supporting me in building and continuing to build a channel here to support your analysis. There are some plans to, again, for some continued growth here, but can't do the growth without some support and investment from folks. Okay, so yeah, don't be shy with the likes, don't be shy with the comments. Share with folks how this analysis has supported your review and as you enter the markets today. And as we close every session, okay, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent trading day today, guys, and we'll go ahead and talk. We'll talk soon. All right.